Hello to all researchers and students. My name is Babak Darabighane from Iran. My colleague GRADS organization is Natural Resource Institute, Finland. I would like to begin by thanking the organizer of this meeting who gave me this opportunity. It's my pleasure to present you this topic on introduction to meta-analysis and its importance in research. Although it is not possible to cover in detail a complete discussion on methodology, analysis, and chart, plots, and the other part in this short time, I will try to present an overview on the significance of meta-analysis. In addition, the coronavirus outbreak and the lockdown, which currently keeps most of us at home, can give a researcher a good opportunity to work on meta-analysis in an area he or she specializes in. As you know, we deal with a great volume of data and research on climate change, with the increasingly important studies growing in number. The question to focus on is therefore what can we do to arrive at a general conclusion by extracting information in a quick and accurate manner when facing is exploding amount of scientific data. As an introduction, I would like to quote Newton and what he attributed to success to. If I have seen further, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants. By saying this, Newton intended to remind his colleagues of how important it is to pay attention to the work and studies conducted by their peers. In fact, this statement shows how progress in scientific knowledge builds on a systematic study based on existing ones. In addition, the principle of replicability provides that finding of scientific study is further confirmed or rejected through replication by other researchers. In fact, scientists can systematically review findings of multiple studies and plan for the conclusion they need to achieve by combining findings from authentic sources. One such method to combine research findings is meta-analysis. So meta-analysis can be defined as a form of analysis which involves statistical methods to combine the result from different studies by statistically summarizing these results. To illustrate this, I give you a number of examples. Different studies with different results have been conducted on how supplementing diets with lipid can reduce methane production in dairy cows. In other words, some of these studies might indicate considerable effect of lipid and methane production, while other might suggest insignificant or no effect at all. This means that the researcher may extract different results from these studies and combine the effects reported by these studies to calculate the resultant effect. Here is another example. In 2013, a paper was published with the title Anti-Methanogenic Effects of Monensin in Dairy and Beef Cattle, a meta-analysis. The author examined how monensin can reduce methane production in dairy cows and beef cattle. In fact, they studied the published results to determine whether monensin can or cannot reduce methane production in dairy and beef cattle. We all know that different studies may produce different results showing different levels of monensin effectiveness in reducing methane production, and that even this can be influenced by a number of factors. So meta-analysis seems to be the best solution in reviewing the previously published papers. The authors use search engines like Babak Science and Direct to find a large number of papers published from 1970 to 2011. They then applied their inclusion and exclusion criteria to select a final set of 13 papers uh, for final analysis. As you can see in this table, they analyzed the result of 6 studies on dairy cattle and 7 studies on beef cattle. The result of this paper show that including mucin in dairy cattle diet had no impact on methane reduction, while this result is a significant corresponding methane reduction in beef cattle. So, as you can see, results from different studies have been statistically combined to produce an effect size which indicated that effectiveness of mucin. Why meta-analysis is important? The reason can be summarized into these items. Number one, to summarize the results from different studies using a statistic and finding correlation between different factors. Number two, to review and distinguish valuable papers from poorly conducted studies. Number three, to meaningfully review papers and conduct further studies based on actual requirements. Number four, to identify what is needed in further research. As for the steps of meta-analysis, it consists of 6 major steps which we briefly discussed here. 1. Question or hypothesis formulation. As any other scientific study, meta-analysis begins with stating the research problem, the hypothesis, and the importance of exploring the subject. Number 2. Literature search. A framework is developed in this step to collect papers published over a certain period using libraries or search engines like Google Scholar or Web of Science to find papers that are related to the subject of interest. Then papers are evaluated and a number of them are selected using inclusion and exclusion criteria. Number 3, data extraction. As this step, a certain format is used to extract required data. For example, methane reported by the studies included in meta-analysis. Number 4, data analysis. Here, effect size, heterogeneity, and publication bias are calculated. Number 5, interpreting the results. Results are interpreted based on the effect size calculated in the previous step, as well as charts and the results of heterogeneity test. In addition, statistical tests like Agar or funnel plot can be used to evaluate publication bias. Number 6, final reporting. All processes involved in the study must be transparently reported in this step. Like other papers, a meta-analysis paper should include a section for introduction, materials and methods, results and discussion, and conclusion. Because of the limited time available, not all details can be covered here. So on a few remaining slides, I will introduce a number of software packages that can be used in meta-analysis. There are special software packages like CMA, Review Manager, and other that can be used for meta-analysis. You can also use SAS, SPSS, or Stata software for meta-analysis. There are different references available for those of you who are interested in reading more about meta-analysis. This slide presents a number of textbooks that you can read to learn more about methods of meta-analysis. Conclusions. To answer a number of scientific questions at a larger scale, it's essential to combine a large amount of data and findings. In this way, the results from a meta-analysis could have more useful implications for scientists and could help governments make better informed decisions when it comes to climate change. Meta-analysis has a great potential as a tool that can be widely used by researchers interested in climate change. Thank you all for your time and for listening to what I presented here. I hope this slide has been useful in showing the importance of meta-analysis. I also hope that you can all successfully complete your research during this pandemic. Take care and don't forget to wear a mask.